Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. Trump blasts the UN. Google backs down from political bans. Jimmy Kimmel returns to limited airwaves, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump took to the stage at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, delivering an hour-long speech that blasted member states' open borders and questioned the very purpose of the UN itself. He warned that Western European countries embracing mass immigration were going to hell and accused the UN of offering empty words instead of real action. Trump also said green energy is a scam ruining Europe. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion, he added. Trump met with Ukrainian President Zelensky after the speech, praising his fight against Russia, and said Kiev could ultimately reclaim all lost territory while backing NATO nations' right to shoot down Russian aircraft in their airspace. President Trump argued Ukraine could win its war against Russia and regain the land it had lost, and maybe even go further than that, suggesting the Russian army was a paper tiger. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form, Trump posted on Truth Social. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option, he added. The president's social media post came on the heels of a meeting on the sidelines of the UN with Ukrainian President Zelensky, where the two leaders discussed the war in Ukraine, which has been raging since Russian forces invaded in February 2022, and efforts by the U.S. to hinder Moscow's war machine. In his Truth Social post, Trump said, Russia had been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. Denmark said drones that halted flights at its main airport on Monday were the most serious attack yet on its critical infrastructure and linked them to a series of suspected Russian drone incursions and other disruptions across Europe. The Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, said the drone activity seemed designed to disrupt and create unrest, though authorities refrained from naming suspects. Sightings of 2 or 3 large drones near Copenhagen Airport late on Monday halted all takeoffs and landings for nearly 4 hours. Authorities in Norway also shut down the airspace at Oslo Airport for 3 hours after a drone was seen. The shutdowns at the Nordic region's busiest airports left tens of thousands of passengers stranded. What we saw last night is the most serious attack on Danish critical infrastructure to date, Frederiksen said in a statement sent to the media on Tuesday. The Secret Service thwarted a potential telecommunications attack on the UN General Assembly Tuesday. According to the agency, security officials discovered a network of 300 servers and 100,000 SIM cards that were poised to eliminate cell service, shut down EMS and police communications, and impose other digital threats on the global conference. The potential for disruption to our country's telecommunications posed by this network of devices cannot be overstated, said U.S. Secret Service Director Sean Curran. Jurors on Tuesday delivered a guilty verdict for Ryan Roth on all charges after he attempted to assassinate then presidential candidate Donald Trump at his West Palm Beach golf course last September. Ruth, age 59, was charged on 5 federal criminal counts, including attempting to assassinate a major presidential candidate, assaulting a federal officer, and multiple firearms offenses. The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. Jurors deliberated for several hours before returning to the court with a verdict. The update comes after a nearly 3-week trial. Prosecutors used the bulk of their closing arguments Tuesday to emphasize both the digital and forensic evidence presented at trial and what they described as Roth's clear intent to kill Trump. They noted the 17 reconnaissance trips he allegedly made to Trump's golf course and what they described as his excessive stalking of Trump prior to the September 15, 2024 incident in question. Google vowed on Tuesday to offer YouTube accounts that were permanently banned for political speech the ability to be reinstated, and the big tech giant admitted that it once faced pressure from the Biden administration to remove content about COVID-19. Google detailed its remarkable shift in a document first obtained by Fox News Digital that a lawyer for the company provided to the House Judiciary Committee. The new policy from Google, also known by its parent company Alphabet, could affect both average users and well-known figures like FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, White House counterterrorism chief Sebastian Gorka, and War Room podcast host Steve Bannon, all of whom were permanently banned in recent years for COVID-19 or election-related content. Reflecting the company's commitment to free expression, YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and elections integrity policies that are no longer in effect, the lawyer representing Google wrote. While Disney-owned ABC returned Jimmy Kimmel to the air, TV station group owners Nexstar Media and Sinclair Media, which represent almost a third of ABC stations, said they will continue to preempt the show. Nexstar said in a statement Tuesday morning, "We made a decision last week to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live following what ABC referred to as Mr. Kimmel's ill-timed and insensitive comments at a critical time in our national discourse. We stand by that decision pending assurance that all parties are committed to fostering an environment of respectful, constructive dialogue in the markets we serve." The company continued, "In the meantime, we note that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be available nationwide on multiple Disney-owned streaming products, while our stations will focus on continuing to produce local news and other programming relevant to their respective markets." Kimmel has refused to apologize for his lies about Charlie Kirk's killer. Comedian Roseanne Barr criticized ABC's decision to reinstate Jimmy Kimmel after the brief suspension, calling it a double standard compared to her own permanent cancellation from the network in 2018. "I got my whole life ruined, no forgiveness, and all of my work stolen and called a racist for time and eternity for racially misgendering someone," Barr tells News Nation. "It just shows how they think. It's a double standard." Barr's experience with ABC ended abruptly in May 2018 when the network canceled her rebooted sitcom Roseanne after she tweeted that former White House advisor Valerie Jarrett was a product of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. Her show had been ABC's most watched series that season before its cancellation, while Jimmy Kimmel Live loses millions of dollars a year for the company. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.